Hello there. I'm Trevor, and welcome back to Minecraft. Now this is a little different than the usual places that I start my videos, but I'm down here because I need some resources. If you didn't see my last video, then first of all, go check it out. But if you did, then you'll know that I didn't get much building done in that video. And so I'm going to be doing some building in this video. And one of the materials that I'll need a lot of is this moss. So I've been farming it a little bit. Hopefully I have enough. I have about 2 stacks here and 1 more on the surface, so I think that'll be enough. There's not too much moss in this build, but there's a decent bit. In here I have this tunnel that I've never finished. One of these days I'll extend this decoration all the way down there and make the track actually work, but that will not be today. Today we're focusing on the village. If I head over this way, see a lot of burning zombies. Oh, now I'm on fire. I think that went out before I even put the bucket down. But yeah, you'll see that this village is not very pretty. Now the inside needs a lot of work, including the houses. Not a big fan of some of these houses. And the pathways too. Yeah, this place needs some work. But what I'll be focusing on today is just the outside. This wall I built in episode number 4 is just not, it's not great. You know, it serves its purpose, it does really well at just keeping things out, but it looks so ugly. Especially these gate areas. I mean, it's not pretty at all. It's only practical. But that is what today's video is for. We're going to be sprucing these up, making them look all fancy and more like a guarded castle wall. And I have all of the resources for that in this chest here. But first, if I go back this way, I have some things I need to show you that I got done between videos. First thing, I have a pond here now. I've talked about this in the past, wanting to put some kind of water feature here, and I now have. It's really simple and small, just some rocks and water. But it looks nice. I like the element of adding the blue here. It really pops. And then you might also notice over here, the forest is kind of retaking its place back in my world. Now, these aren't here for decoration or anything. I'm going to be chopping these down because I'll need them for today's build. And I've just been noticing that I'm running out of wood because I'm not chopping many trees down. So I decided I needed to farm a little bit. And then up here, you'll see my snowman friend is a little darker. And now what do you call a snowman who's been in the sun too long? No, not melted. It's a snow tan. I am so sorry. That was really bad. But yeah, he's been in the sun too long and he's gotten a little darker. But that's okay. He fits in better now. Before he kind of felt out of place. He was so bright and snowy, but now he's fitting in with the cozy vibes up here a little bit better. But the next order of business is to chop down these trees, because even though they look great and they fill up the space nicely, they're not here for decoration. I need the wood for today's build, so I'm going to do that now. Alright, those trees are all disappearing now. It was a lot more wood than I really thought I put down, but I have over a stack and a half. I'm definitely over-prepared here. But like I said, I'm just running low on wood, so it's good to have enough. And while I'm over here, I need to shear my sheep. I've got a lot of different colors going now, it's not just purple. That's because I'm going to be building some flags for the village, and they're going to have some more colors on them. Also, I think I'm going to leave this tall tree for now. I just really don't have the patience to cut that down right now. I've always hated the tall trees, and like, they give a lot of wood, but I just cannot be bothered to do that right now. Oh, and while I'm here, one other thing I did between videos is I got a new sword. Since my current one's about to break, I wanted to make a new diamond sword, and this is the best I got so far. I do have, they're not here, I do have a fire aspect enchantment book, so I can put that on this sword. I kind of want looting, so I might wait and re-enchant. I did realize though, after I made the sword, that I did already make another one, so I have an extra sword in case I need it, but that being said, it's not really an issue because I have so many diamonds now. Getting the fortune pickaxe has really spoiled me now. I mean, look at all this iron and the diamond. Oh, it's too much, really. It's too much. But because of that, I can also safely make a new shovel and axe made out of diamonds, since these ones are kind of getting close to breaking. And I can also go to sleep. So now I've officially entered that phase of the game where diamonds are not really an issue. I mean, I still don't want to waste them, but I mean, I can make all the diamond stuff I want now. Now I can put all this stuff in here, and yeah, this is enough wood for sure. I can begin by starting on this gate right here. I gotta be careful and make sure that no one escapes during this. I'll break these middle parts because these won't be important anymore. Those won't be seen. Alright, that's about as high as it'll go. Oh no. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And actually, I think I'm gonna move this back one block. So all of this, including the cobblestone wall, are going to go back just by one block. So part of this construction is going to be moving some of these walls around just a little bit. You know, I'm realizing I might need some more stone bricks. I thought like 7 stacks would be enough, but I might end up needing more, just because of how much goes into this. I was wrong, this actually doesn't go up this high. But up here, there's going to be wood. Part down here can get filled up. That, well, nope. Like that. Now it's time for some of the smaller details. Like up here, of course, you know, you have a big wall. Of course, it's going to have these rivets on the top. Except for right here. That's where the entrance is going to be. There's going to be a ladder leading up that way. And now you can kind of get the idea here. There are some smaller details that I still need to add, such as needs to be an arch. And the sides need to have walls here. And these just give it some more shape, keep it from looking stiff. Tell like this is more like a circle here, and then this goes up like that on the sides. And that's pretty much the shape done. And that's pretty much what all of the gates are going to look like. Now before I add any more details to that, actually, yeah, I'm going to need to make some more stone bricks, because I didn't realize how much I was going to go through just in one of the gates. I hope I have enough cobblestone, or else I'm going to have to pause the middle of this video just to go mining a bunch. And I really don't have that much coal either, so I'm probably going to have to go mining specifically for coal and cobblestone. Well, that's not fun. And one other thing is, I need some cracked stone bricks, so I'm going to put these in here as well. I'm going to let these cook, and I'm going to, I don't know, do my daily Duolingo or something while these go. See you in a minute. Alright, they're done. I can grab all of this stuff, and hopefully this will be enough for the build. Where did you get that from? Alright, so now here are some of the finer details. I'm going to place some cracked stone bricks in certain spots. This gives it the impression of being a little bit worn, as I have had to use these walls before in the past, so, well, I guess not these parts, but, you know, I want them to look slightly used. That already looks pretty good, but I'm also going to include some mossy stone bricks. I don't want to make too many because you can't go back once you've made them. I'll just put these around the place like this, mostly toward the ground, as the grass is like growing up. And lastly, one of the reasons why I got so much oak wood, I want to put some signs up as well. These should give off the idea that it's like being boarded off, you know, put like patched together with little pieces of wood. And from the front at least, this is what it's going to look like. Now I do still need to go to the back side. For that, I'm going to need to make some fences first of all. Not fences, those are ladders. So the ladder is going to be over here, and I'm going to put the pressure plate here. It doesn't do anything, but it does sort of give off the idea that it's like the wooden floor over there, without making this whole block be wood. Now, I do wish it was covering the whole block, but you know, from most angles, you don't look directly at it. It does look like it's just the top of the block is wood. Now, I completely forgot about these, so I had to go back and grab them, but I also want some lanterns up here so that it's lit up at nighttime. And with that, it is complete. Never mind, wait. This floor here, I'm going to dig out and replace this with wood. A little more official. And there we go. Now it is officially complete. So I think I'm going to add one more cracked brick right there, and that should make it a little more even. Yeah, that's better. So that's what all the gates are going to look like. There's 3. There's one over there, and then one on the complete opposite side that you cannot see from here. So I'm going to go ahead and place those in now, and they're going to be pretty much just the same thing, but repeated in all of the spots where the gates are. Under here you can see the wood up at the top acts both as the flooring and also kind of blends in here with the fence. Looks like a gate that could be dropped down, although it never will. That would be too much work to come up with redstone to make this gate close, and it really isn't all that important. So yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and build the other 2. I'm not going to include both of those on video because that would be the entire video, and I have so much more that I want to get done, and this is already taking long enough. So I will see you once I've done that. Alright, and with that, I am done. All 3 of the walls are built. You see one over there, and then up there you can see that one. So that's the 3 gates to the city. And oh boy, that took me probably close to an hour to do. And like, it shouldn't have taken me that long. It was just copying and pasting the build basically with a few minor tweaks. But it took a while. Plus this one I needed to do some terraforming, so that made it take a little bit longer. But it wasn't too bad, but it did take a while. You know, it didn't help that the entire time I had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stuck in my head. And you know, it's not a bad song, but having that stuck in your head for 30 minutes, well, that hurts. Needless to say, I am exhausted. However, that's probably not even half of the work that I need to do in this video. So I've got a lot ahead of me. So before I get on with any of that, I am going to take a short break. I don't know why I'm telling you this, because for you, it shouldn't even be noticeable. If it is noticeable, then I did something wrong. Okay, so in the gates, we have these big stone structures. And in the corners of the village, we're going to have something kind of similar, but a little bit different. So here you can see there's these 2 walls that meet right here in the middle. This is where there's going to be a sort of watchtower. By the way, did you notice that anything changed? Hopefully not. I've rested up and I feel ready to complete this build. Now, to keep the villagers from coming out, I am going to have to put some fence gates. Which is really interesting that fence gates keep them out. Like, you can put doors up and they'll walk through them, but if you put fence gates, they can't come through. But it's a good thing, because I need a way to be able to go in without them being able to come out. One thing I did learn while making this was that you can actually choose which way the door goes. I always thought it was dependent on if there was a block attached to it, so I think if you do this... Gotta hurry this up because it is turning night. You do this... Yeah, it's always going to be attached to the block. But if there's blocks and you still want to choose where it goes, it depends on where you're looking. So if I look in this corner, the hinges go on this side. And if I look at this corner, they go on that side. And I never knew that. Really cool. If you didn't know that either, then now you know. And you're welcome. So yeah, this will just keep the villagers from going out these doors, but it allows me a nice, easy access, so I don't have to go to one of the 3 gates. I can just go to one of these outposts on the corners as well. Here I will place some walls going up. I can. We'll go up 2 blocks each. These slabs will go here. I know this looks like a mess, but it will all be one image once it's complete. Now, with that, it's concealed, and I can put a little light right there. So it's very tight in here, but it's just an entryway. It's a liminal space, if you will. That's not how that goes. Sideways. But I cannot seem to get it to go the right way. Gotta be real careful too, so that no villagers come and run through while I got these gates open. So that's what it looks like on the inside here. Another thing I'll need is a lot of stripped logs, specifically for shelves. Can't use my shield with that. Not sure if that'll be enough. 12? I don't know. These will go around the bottom, and they will... some structure, yeah, whatever. They look good, that's what matters. And you can tell now, especially with this corner here, you can see the shape being defined here. And I will, in fact, need some more shelves. Now you can see why I needed to chop all those trees down at the beginning, because these are so expensive. And I don't even know why. Like, there's not really a good reason for it. It's just how they are. Alright, now this is where it gets interesting. So this, a lever right here, turned on, and some redstone lamps around the outside. So this is kind of like a lighthouse, I suppose. It's gonna be lit up at night so that I can see it. And then around the outside, there's once again going to be shelves. And on top of the lanterns, there's going to be trapdoors. Now the final bit of the tower is to add the roof, made out of cobblestone, not cobblestone, smooth stone, not smooth stone, stone bricks, stone brick walls, like that. Now if I dig this down, you can see it as it is intended. That is what these towers are going to look like. They match the aesthetic pretty well, and then from the inside you can see here, it's like this. And now with that complete, I can grab this wool. It's turning nighttime now, so we can see what it looks like in the dark. I don't want to wait too long, or else monsters will start spawning, and I will risk it all being blown up. You can kind of see, it just emits a little bit of light through the doorway, and on top, it is bedtime. Almost. Man, I really suck at this, don't I? So the last detail to add here is up at the top. You might have noticed that it looked a little off, and maybe that's just me because I know what goes up here. But on top of here, there's going to be 2 fence poles. Even higher up, there's going to be 3 stone bricks, on top of which there will be a lantern, so even more light. And then on the side of this, I'm going to add a flag. I wanted to give it its own unique name and color scheme and vibe and everything. I thought that'd be fun. And I'm gonna have to use this moss as scaffolding here. I just realized it's actually the wrong way around. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Who let me do this? Who let me make a Minecraft series? Oh, I suck. Alright, I just had to check to make sure everything is going as it's supposed to, and yes, this is the correct way. And that should be it. I gotta break away my scaffolding. Alright, now that I'm down here, you can see the flag blowing in the wind in all its glory. If I come around this way, you can see it from this angle, as well as all the other flags flying that just happened to appear after I built that one. Not sure how that works. They're kind of like a hive mind, I suppose. They just kind of showed up. If I come over here, you'll see that there are 5 of them. There's these 2 corners, and then there's one over here, here, and in the back there. They're all a little bit different, not only in the way that the cracked stone is in different places, but also I had to build them in different ways to match up with the walls around them, like this one here, which has gates inside. It was kind of a weird shape to work with. This one over here doesn't have any doors at all, it's just built into the wall, because I felt like there needed to be another one there. And then we have this one all the way in the back, which is similar to the one I just built. And this one back here is also the same. Yeah, I just didn't want to do all of these on video, so I decided to go ahead and build the rest of them. They're all very similar to the one I just built, so there's nothing too different. Just the location and some slight variances, so they're not all, I don't want them to all have the same patterns and stuff, so I put the cracked stone bricks and the mossy stone bricks all in different locations, and I called it a day. The flags are the exact same pattern on each of them, and I debated on whether or not to do that. What is going on with this tree? Anyway, yeah, I wanted all the flags to be the same. That's what I decided on, since they are blowing in the wind, and I figured if they're all up high, blowing in the wind, they're all going to blow about the same. So what is next? I've built the gateways, I've built the pillars. Now, all that's left is this wall. This wall's been here this whole time, and I can keep adding things on the corners and in the gates, but the wall is still just an ugly cobblestone wall. And so, to make this a little different, I'm going to be putting some slabs on the top so that it is more fluid and more jagged, which I guess those are kind of opposites, but I wanted it to be a lot more varied places rather than just being one big cobblestone chunk going around the whole wall. There's certain areas like this that I'll need to add some more stuff to make it work better. But for the most part, it is just adding cobblestone slabs so that it looks a little more different in places. And in spots like this here, I am going to leave the corners out. I don't want it to feel like it's too tall here. I'm going to leave those like that. You can kind of see what I'm going for here. More like a castle wall that way. Alright, just barely made it all the way around, but I am going to need more walls. And I wanted to save this stack of cobblestone for the next part, but I might have to use up quite a bit of it just for these. Here's another thing I wanted to do, is fix these spots where there's dirt showing. Another place where this really matters is right here. Pretty bad. Alright, that looks a little bit better. Now it feels like an actual wall. Now that area is a whole nother monster that I'm not going to be dealing with right now. Guys, can you leave? Please, thank you. Alright, and that should be everything. Now, especially in areas like this, you can see it's more jagged, and yet it still flows a lot better than before. Alright, and for the last bit of this wall, I wanted to change it up a little bit and add some more variation to it, and that means I'm going to be working with the entire wall again, except this time it's not going to be putting slabs on the top, it's going to be changing out the wall. But not everywhere, just in some areas. For example, I'll do some here. I put in some moss in areas like this, and then other places I put in some mossy cobblestone. Then it'll look like it's sort of spreading outward. I don't know if it's obvious yet, but once I back up, this should look pretty decent. So now you can see the idea I have here. It's like the moss is growing up the wall there. You can see it from the inside as well. And I'll do a few sections like that along the wall, as well as one other sort of style I want to do. However, this one's a little more complicated. So if this is a wall that was built by someone, then there has to be some kind of structural integrity to it. And I like to imagine that the way it's built is that on the inside of all of this cobblestone is fences. And then around those fences, they put cobblestone. And then around that cobblestone, they put more cobblestone. So there's going to be some areas that are sort of worn down and broken, and so they're going to be revealing the other layers within. I'll put some walls here. Actually, I'll dig this out. That there. If I do something like that, then you can see it's like degrading a little bit. Maybe something more like that. Then on top of that, I also want to add some signs, once again, to make it look like it's been boarded up a little bit. So it still has the same technical integrity as the wall from before. Ravagers can't break through this, and villagers can't shoot through it. I think. Villagers shouldn't be able to shoot through there, no. So, it should be fine, it just looks as if it's been actually worn down a little bit. And here it is from the inside. It doesn't look very different, it's just the same thing but on the other side. And I'm going to add some signs here as well. And yeah, that's the two different kinds of styles I'm going to go for, and just put them all around the outside of the wall here. And I will meet up with you in just a minute once I have done all of that all the way around. By just a minute, I mean probably like half an hour. Alright, there you have it. What are you doing? Anyway, in here you can see that I've finished all of the walls. It goes all the way around. You saw it in the replay, so there's not really much to show you now. It has more spice added to it, I guess. And it just keeps it all from looking so bland. I'd like to add something on these walls too, here in the middle. Probably not any damaging because they're inside so they don't get touched or anything. But I don't really know what I want to add, so I'm gonna hold off on that for now. And at some point in the future, I am going to upgrade the village, like on the inside, all these pathways and stuff, like I said at the start of the video. I am going to do that at some point. Not today, but whenever I do that, I can also hopefully have some kind of idea about what I want to do with those walls, and what I want to do with this giant sunken part of the village. That's gonna be fun and quite tricky to figure out how to get this all to flow. But interestingly enough, I barely had enough moss blocks for this. I have 3 left and 1 mossy cobblestone, so it's a good thing I finished right where I did, or else I would have ran out. And the last thing I'm going to do is add some grass around the outside. So in areas like this here, I'm just going to throw around some grass to fluff it out a little bit. But that's not very interesting, so I'm not going to do that on camera. But that is the end of this video. I'm very happy with how the village has turned out with all these new additions. But I want to thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the future.